Hello and welcome back to another video. Is this the perfect camera setup for YouTube? Let's find out for 2019. Okay, so I am very fascinated with gear that YouTubers use. I watch, pretty much all of the famous YouTubers that are out there. I notice the gear that they're using, and I try to apply it to my own videos that you see on my YouTube channel here. And I have my own list of requirements that I think are necessary for the perfect camera setup for YouTube. If you're thinking like a photographer, then this video is not for you. Also, if you are a videographer, this video is not for you either, okay? Because I know your requirements. I've worked with you guys before in the past. I mean, you guys are all about making the art in movies, documentaries, and all that stuff. This is not for you, okay? This is more for the everyday, practical YouTuber out there that just wants to have easy setup. It has to be easy. It has to be affordable. Requirements for everyday use when you're making YouTube videos like on a daily basis. So let's talk about the camera first, okay? So there are so many cameras out there to use. I've seen all of them, okay? Like Canon, Sony, Panasonic, Olympus. I've seen all of them. And I've compared all the footages from like camera reviews, this model versus this model versus that. And I can say that I'm pretty happy with the camera that I've found. The camera that I'm using is the Canon M50, okay? Now let me explain why I chose the M50. First of all, I like the look of the Canon 80D. I like the look that it's shown in Casey Neistat's videos when he's vlogging. Jeremy Fragrance, he's another YouTuber that uses the Canon 80D. A lot of like big time YouTubers, they all use the Canon 80D. That's their go-to workhorse. Great camera, but the problem with that camera is, first of all, it's expensive, right? Compared to the M50, and it's much bigger. 80D is like a giant hamburger in your hand. Very heavy. I've tested it out many times. It's very bulky. M50, on the other hand, is really small, and it's a lot cheaper than the 80D. And it's got everything that you want in the 80D in the M50, right? Like the autofocus. So if you want this thing to track you, like make sure that it's tracking your face, it has the same software that it uses in the 80D, so that's what I wanted. It has the flip out screen so you can see yourself. It has everything the 80D has, but in a compact size, and it's much cheaper. Before the M50, I was using the Canon G7X, and that's a good camera as well. Every vlogger uses that camera, even PewDiePie and all that, when they're out and about. It's really good, but the audio sucks. And the problem with the G7X is you can hear the autofocus in the camera, the motors. Here's a tip. If you watch any YouTube video out there that's using a G7X Mark 1 or Mark II, you hear a motor sound. It's like eggs cracking in the background. The M50, it's like right smack in the middle. The 80D and the G7X right in the middle. Got all the benefits of the 80D, plus it's got an input mic jack. The input mic jack, you can hook it up to a lav mic, like the one that you see right here. I got my audio and my video synced up already, so I don't have to do that extra step in post-production. That's another plus, so that was what I wanted for so long, and a lot of YouTubers were demanding this, right? They wanted an input mic jack for all these tiny little cameras that you see with a flip-out screen, but none of them have it, except for this guy, the M50. So the negatives of the M50 is, you probably heard, it's got a really poor battery life, but I haven't really noticed that. I mean, unless you're shooting 4K, and you don't really want to shoot 4K. Again, if you're a videographer, you care about 4K, but most people who watch YouTube videos and make YouTube videos, I mean, 1080 is like the baseline. I mean, most people are just happy just watching 720p on their smartphones when they're sitting on the toilets. If you know anything about editing 4K footage, you know that when you get 4K footage, it's just so goddamn hard to edit it after, because the file size is too large and it's gonna kill your computer, whatever laptop that you use. I use a MacBook Pro 2015 version. So you're gonna have to get a really custom-built supercomputer in order to handle 4K. And if you're traveling, you're on the go, and you don't really have access to a supercomputer to handle the 4K footage. So Guys, stick to 1080p if you're a YouTuber alone. If you're a videographer, yeah, go for the 4K, whatever you want. 1080p, all my videos, it makes my life simple. It's very easy to handle on the laptop. Now, I chose a lav mic over a Rode mic, and you've probably seen all these other YouTubers, they talk about the Rode, you know, all those types like the micro all the way up to the pro. You'll notice that if you look at all the reviews on Amazon, like people just really hate Rode, okay? The one thing I didn't like about Rode, it's just too big. When you put that thing on top of your camera, it just becomes like this giant black dildo that's hanging from your camera, and people start noticing more when you're out and about. People are gonna watch or take notice of what you're doing, right? So you wanna be unnoticeable as possible. And the way to do that is to not use a shotgun mic, in my opinion. Another thing is, if you are really far away from the camera, the shotgun mic has a hard time picking up the audio. You notice that a lot of YouTubers or people using a shotgun mic, they have to talk really close to the camera in order for the mic to pick up the audio. Whereas if I'm using a lav mic, I can walk as far as possible, or as far as I want, as long as my extension cord allows it. You're probably wondering, like, why am I using an extension cord version of a lav mic instead of like a wireless? If I had the budget, then yes, I would try to get a Sennheiser, like a wireless lav mic set, but those are really expensive and those things require batteries as well. So you're gonna have to add that on top. The only benefit to that, in my opinion, is that I'm really, really far away from the camera, and then yeah, I would need a wireless mic system like the Sennheiser. But for this purpose, like for me, like right now that you see like talking head, I have a very long ass cable here, a wire for my lav set. Let me tell you about my problems with lav mics. So lav mics, you notice that some of them require batteries. I really hate batteries that are not rechargeable. So I always want to get batteries that I can recharge, or a system that I can constantly just plug in to a wall and just recharge, and I don't have to waste money buying batteries and batteries all over again. So I wanted to get something like this. This is a rechargeable lav mic. Right now you can see that blue light. That means this little system right here that's connected to this lav mic here is powering the audio that's coming out from here. If I turn this blue light off, then you won't hear any audio coming from me. But if I turn it off, I can still hook this system up to a smartphone and use it as an audio recorder. But if I want to use it with the M50, then I turn this blue light on, it powers it, and then you can hear me right now. I had a really hard time finding a rechargeable lav mic set, and this is the one that I've found on Amazon. And you can see you connect the USB here, you just plug it into the wall, and then that's it. You recharge it, and then you get another day's worth again and again and again. You just keep reusing this system, and you don't have to waste any more money on batteries. So I will link down below everything, all the gear that I mentioned in this video. This is my lifesaver. This is my hack here. A lot of people don't know about this when it comes to using a lav mic for like the Canon M50 or any kind of DSLR set. So get this guy. So we got our camera, we got our audio, and now let's talk about lighting, okay? So this is another problem that a lot of people face. If you're a YouTuber, you've probably seen like this ring light a lot of people use. You can tell that they're using a ring light when you look at their pupils and you see this giant like white ring of light around their eyes. And you see a lot of makeup YouTubers use this ring light. And I tried using that in the past, but the problem with that ring light is just it's so goddamn big. It takes up so much space, and you need to buy a tripod for that ring light itself. So you've got like the tripod holding your camera, and you got a tripod holding the ring light. Like this. I couldn't carry that ring light in my bag everywhere I went, okay, if I wanted to film something like at night. In the reviews for the Canon M50, the low light is terrible. It's not like the Sony A7S. I mean, that's the #1 low light killer camera out there. What were other light systems that I used? I used like softbox systems before, and that's hell. I mean, I know you're thinking about the 3-point lighting system, right? That you use, right, for professional photography. It's just too frustrating because you got to set up your lighting system every time you have a new shot, right? And if you're shooting in a studio, that's fine. But if you're on the go, if you're traveling, you can't carry that giant ass like softbox system. Like it comes with 3 lights and all these stands and a giant big carry-on bag. It looks like a hockey duffel bag. So I got rid of that softbox system. I got rid of the ring light system. And the only system that I use now for lighting is what I'm shooting with right now. So this is the ring light system that I'm using. And this guy is a lifesaver for me, okay? So as you can see, it's attached to the M50 on top. I can switch from 2 types, right? I've got, you can see like there's a tan and I've got also a white, all right? So I've got 2 types to play with for lighting, okay? That's one plus. Another plus is that it has a level, okay, of light. So you can see, I can adjust the intensity of the light as much as I want, customize it as I want. So I can crank it all the way up to 100%, just like that. And the light is just awesome, okay? As you can see, there's a battery here. This battery, you can just pop out and put it back on. So I can recharge this battery. And as you can see, it's got a DC outlet. So I also bought a charger here. I take this and I plug it into the wall if I want constant power feeding into the light system. So when you buy the M50, you're gonna get that normal 15mm kit lens. And that lens is okay if you're like standing very far away, but as you know, if you're vlogging, you're gonna be really close like this to the camera. So you're gonna need a wider lens. So you've seen most YouTubers, they recommend the 11 to 22mm, and this is what you're watching right now. This is the 11 to 22mm lens that I bought extra. So right now, this is me at vlogging distance, okay? So this is me like holding the tripod if I had a tripod. And by the way, I use this guy, right? So if I'm holding the camera like this is the distance right now. This is me holding the tripod with one hand. So as you can see, it's got a good distance, like the rule of thirds. I call it the rule of fourths because if you think about it, right? If you multiply yourself 4 times like this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, that's like the perfect distance in my opinion. This is like the rule of thirds in my opinion. 3, like, so if you multiply yourself 3 times, 1, 2, and a 3 in the frame, this is a little bit too tight in my opinion. Now, this is my arm extended right now with the camera, with the 11 to 22. And I can times myself like 4 times and fit in the frame. And this is like the perfect distance in my opinion. So if you're gonna vlog, then yeah, get the 11 to 22mm lens. And yeah, just get a regular Joby GorillaPod like this when you're vlogging with the M50. The image stabilization, like when you're walking around and vlogging, it's not so good, okay? I try to like vlog and walk at the same time with this camera, and it's very hard to keep the shot smooth, all right? You're gonna need a gimbal, and there are gimbals like the Zion Crane that you can pick up. However, I don't recommend that because it's just too big, it's too bulky, and you're gonna be drawing attention to yourself even more, okay? So my recommendation is that if you wanna do more like the walking, talking style of vlogs, then pick up an action cam like the Sony X3000, right? I use that camera for walking, and that has really great stabilization. The image quality isn't as great as the M50, but again, it makes up for the stabilization if you're walking around, okay? One YouTuber that I really like that uses the X3000 that you should check out is called Bald and Bankrupt. Okay, that guy's in India, he's filming. He films all of his YouTube videos using an X3000. So check out his channel. Another guy is Vegetable Police, that guy from Toronto. He's in Thailand right now. He uses the X3000 as his main vlogging camera outside. But when you're sitting or standing and you're talking head like this, then you're gonna wanna like beef up the presentation. So I would recommend that you get your main camera like the M50, and your walking and talking camera, the X3000. The GoPro, as you can see, I use this thing for all my underwater shots when I'm swimming, because the great thing about the GoPro, this is, by the way, this is the Hero 5 Session, is that the mic is really good on this system. I can just dunk this right into the water and swim, and then when I come out of the water and talk to you guys and give instruction when I'm swimming, then the mic clears out of water, and it picks up the audio pretty good. Plus it's a lot more portable. You put it on your chest like this. Not many people notice this thing compared to like the X3000 because it's so white. So this is like, yeah, the most perfect incognito camera out there. You can walk around town, you can film your swimming, and it'll pick up your voice in and out of the water very clearly compared to the X3000. X3000, you're gonna need to put that casing on top of the camera if you're gonna shoot underwater and come out, and it doesn't pick up the audio as well. So I would recommend this as your underwater camera. Get the X3000 as your walking and talking action camera for the stabilization, and then get the M50 for your presentation camera, okay? Your main camera that you use to make your YouTube videos like this format. Okay, so let me know if I missed anything. All right, this is the perfect gear for YouTube for 2019 in my opinion. Let me know down below if you disagree, what other camera gear that you recommend or would swap out. I really like the Panasonic G9. That is my dream camera, but the problem with that camera is that it's very expensive, and you're gonna need to get a very expensive lens on top of it to make it like your vlogging camera, but it's got like the best image, best stabilization, just everything is beautiful with that camera. If you can afford that system, expect to pay around 3 to 4 grand for that kind of system. For this kind of system, I paid less than $1,500 altogether. That's talking the Canon M50, the 11 to 22 millimeter lens, the lav mic, rechargeable, the video light that mounts on top, the Joby GorillaPod, and the Manfrotto tripod. Those are the 6 items that I need in order to set this up and present to you. Less than $1,500 it cost me. For affordability, if you want a professional setup, this is what I recommend. It's affordable, it's compact, it just ticks all the boxes that you need. Like for image quality, just like for like the audio and the lighting, everything. This is my like, I am relieved that I got this system now, right? It's like I don't have to worry anymore for the rest of the year. I can be happy making YouTube videos with this setup and not think about it anymore for at least a year. And if I have the money, then I would get the G9, okay? if you can PayPal me, yeah, sponsor this video, whatever, just, yeah, I would love to have that camera. Leave a like if you found this video useful. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Yeah!